Welcome back to the Jake Asman Show on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Need a mortgage that fits your life? Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Jake Asman.
Here we go on a Saturday. Jake Asman with you till 6 Eastern on Sports Map Radio. Certainly a lot of topics to dive into. NFL draft less than 2 weeks away. A lot of rumors, a lot of innuendo, a lot of different things being floated out there as we get closer and closer to when the Jacksonville Jaguars will be on the clock officially on Thursday, April 29th. And we start with the Jacksonville Jaguars and that first pick, because earlier in the week, Trevor Lawerence did an interview in Sports Illustrated. And Trevor Lawerence said to SI that he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder and he could walk away tomorrow, that football is not his whole life. Then he had his high school coach say he doesn't want to win a Super Bowl at all costs. His dad came out and said that his son is not a I want to win a Super Bowl at all costs guy. His high school coach said the following quote, "There is no doubt about it. With who he is as a person, he could walk away from it tomorrow and be fine." Then his wife added, "There's more in life than playing football." And it's noted in the story that his wife, Marissa, who played soccer at Anderson University, is more competitive than he is. So you hear that, and immediately I'm like, how's this not getting more play? Like, this should be a bit of a red flag. We all know Trevor Lawerence is great, but how aren't we reacting to these comments by a guy that's supposed to be the greatest quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning or John Elway? So it started to get some traction, as it should, because I threw it out there on the show. What if Justin Fields said the same thing? He's already being unfairly scrutinized through this process. Oh, he's a one-read quarterback. No, he's not. Numbers back it up that he's actually the best in this class at going to his second and third read. What if Zach Wilson said what Trevor Lawerence said? Wouldn't that fit Zach Wilson, rich kid, rich family, he's not going to work hard. These comments back it up. So Trevor Lawerence says this, and we all know he's still going to go first overall, but just picture what the reaction would have been if somebody else said it. Let's use some current quarterbacks. Imagine Daniel Jones had that quote in the New York media market, or Baker Mayfield said that in Cleveland. How do you think Browns fans would have reacted? So I want to point out the double standard here. And we did that earlier in the week. But then I go on Twitter earlier today, and I see Trevor Lawerence has had to put out a statement through Twitter, and he had to clarify his comments because he was taking some heat, as he should. Because the comments, I thought, raise a bit of a red flag. I'm not saying he's not draftable. I'm not saying he's still not going to be a great player. But I'm sorry. The old, I don't really need football. That's not how I'm wired. If you feel that way, don't say it. Why bring it on your team? Why bring it on Jaguar fans who were in my mentions attacking me? They have no choice. They have to defend you. You're the only hope they have. All 7 of them are counting on you, Trevor. So I'll read you what Trevor Lawerence said in his statement on Twitter, because I'm sure his agent got to him. Maybe the Jaguars got to him. Maybe someone was just like, hey, just clarify it just a bit, just so we don't have to be asked questions about it. Quote, "It seems as if people are misreading my sentiment." Are we, though, Trevor? "I am internally motivated. I love football as much or more than anyone. It is a huge, capital, priority in my life. I am driven to be the best I can be and maximize my potential and to win. I have a lot of confidence in my work ethic. I love to grind and chase my goals. You could ask anyone that's been in my life. That being said, I am secure in who I am and what I believe. I don't need football to make me feel worthy as a person. I purely love the game and everything that comes with it, the work, the team, the ups and the downs. I'm a firm believer in the fact that there's a plan for my life, and I'm called to be the best that I could be at whatever I'm doing. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. LOL." So, good clarifying statement. But hasn't the damage been done just a bit? How he truly felt were the original comments. And then someone got to him and said, hey, what you're saying is not a good idea. Imagine if Justin Fields said that. Wouldn't there be people coming on radio shows and TV programs saying that Justin Fields is undraftable? Right? Wouldn't that be a word that come up instantly with Justin Fields?
Well, people are always just looking for a reason to, dump on Justin Fields. And, I don't really understand it. I mean, I have some theories, some more obvious than others. But when Trevor Lawerence, he's been so successful and he's won everything, he's going to be the first pick. It almost seems like sometimes with guys like Trevor Lawerence, who was already proclaimed number one pick, when he was a freshman at Clemson, for crying out loud, people sometimes nitpick and try to find reasons to create stories because we've known he's been going number one forever. There's no drama. It's not who's Jacksonville taking. So I feel like this is a little bit manufactured in a way. And I think Trevor Lawerence, he's a guy, he's 21 years old. He's married. He's already going to start his family. He's a very religious guy. I'm sure that he doesn't have the same drive for football just inherently that a lot of guys do. And I think that's okay. I think that he's still talented enough. And obviously he's driven to a point where he's been this successful already. And I don't think it's one of these things where he hates football and it's just, punching the clock and going home every day. I just think this is maybe a little overblown. And I'm not even the biggest Trevor Lawerence fan.
Well, see, you make an interesting point, though. I believe, too, it's a bit overblown. I think the comments aren't a great look, but I'm not saying I'm not drafting him.
No, it's not a great look. We agree there.
So, but that's my point. It's not a great look. But think about how it would have been spun had someone else said it. There's a double standard here. Because Trevor Lawerence has been a god for as many years as he's been walking on earth, it seems. Because of that, people are coming to his defense saying, oh, stop, you're making too much of it. No, I'm not. Because if Justin Fields said this, if Mac Jones said this, if any other quarterback, Zach Wilson, said this, it'd be used against them. And I'll tell you what, the quarterback that has the most approved from this draft class, it's not Justin Fields. It's not Zach Wilson. It's the guy that's been told since he was 16 he's going to be the number one pick in the draft. The guy that won a national title as a true freshman. He's got the most pressure on him now, and he brought it on himself. Oh, I could walk away and be fine. I mean, come on, Trevor. Not a good look. I'm not going to not draft you. I still think you're going to be a very good quarterback, but just think of the standard had somebody else said what he said. The fact that his dad said his son is not I want to win a Super Bowl at all costs type of person. Hey, Dad, read the room. Why are you saying that? That's not going to help your son. Hey, high school coach, Joey King. Quote, there's no doubt about it with who he is. You could walk away from it tomorrow and be fine. You really want that one out there too? How did no one in Trevor Lawrence's camp be like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't say that? Can we retract that? Let's give you a different quote.
You'd think you'd be able to rely on your dad and your high school coach for some good publicity and not, exasperate the situation a little bit more.
I mean, seriously, if Sam Darnold had said what Trevor Lawerence said in the New York media market, it'd be the story for the next 6 months. Can Sam Darnold lead? Oh, no. He doesn't have the right qualities. It's not going to work in New York. He's not going to be able to handle the adversity. I mean, I'm just telling you how it would be in a different market. Justin Fields says this. There's going to be people that are going to be like, can't draft him. I'm taking off my draft board. Can't do it. So all I'm saying is that we need to keep the same energy when someone says something that could be deemed a red flag, even when that person we all think is going to be still a great player. Because if somebody else said that, they'd be getting destroyed. I mean, could you imagine if Justin Herbert said that last year? He already had the knock that he was this West Coast kid and he didn't have the best leadership because he was the long hair, cool Cali guy playing out in Oregon on the West Coast. Imagine the outcry. Imagine that. Every quarterback that gets drafted high certainly has a ton of pressure on them. But I think these quotes by Trevor Lawerence, if he ends up not being the guy that everyone has anointed him to be, they're going to be used against him now. You gave people a reason that would have their doubt, a legit reason to question how bad do you want it, right? You got to be maniacal if you're a football player, especially at that position. That's why Tom Brady at age 43 is still playing because he freaking loves throwing a spiral, he said.
He's psychotic. I mean,
that position, you got to put the work in on the field and then off the field, it has to be all football. I mean, you think Michael Jordan would ever say that or any of these other all-time great athletes? Trevor Lawerence is supposed to be that type of athlete. There's more hype surrounding Trevor Lawerence than any athletic prospect, probably since LeBron, if you think about it. Who's had more hype coming into their respective sport since LeBron James than Trevor Lawrence? Is there one I'm missing? Maybe Zion? Maybe.
Zion didn't do it for 3 years like Trevor Lawrence.
Exactly.
Though.
We've known Trevor Lawrence was going to be this guy since he won a national title at Clemson as a true freshman. I would argue Trevor Lawrence has more pressure on him than any athletic prospect that we've had since LeBron James. And these are the quotes you want out right before the draft? Okay. I'm just telling you, if the Jets had the first pick, there would be Jet fans that'd be like, we can't draft them now. And I would say, that's a little ridiculous. Let's not go crazy. But that's how people react. Fans are fans. Fans are all in. I don't want to hear the quarterback say that he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder and that he can walk away tomorrow and be fine. You don't want to hear the high school coach saying he doesn't want to win a Super Bowl at all costs. Isn't that the goal, to win a Super Bowl? I mean, Trevor Lawrence's career in the NFL will only be justified if he wins the championship. He's got to win. Yeah, he could be a great regular season player, but how do we judge athletes in sports? We compare them to the all-time greats. Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be one of those guys. He's got to win a ring. I don't love hearing it. I understand he clarified the comments, but just know someone else said that it'd be a way bigger deal. A way bigger deal. Agree or disagree? 800-224-2004. That's the number to weigh in and get involved. If you're watching on YouTube, you can follow me on Twitter at Jake Asman. That's JakeAsman, and tweet me your thoughts there. Plenty to get into here with the NFL draft. A lot of rumblings that Justin Fields could be the quarterback at 3 for the San Francisco 49ers. Let's talk about that next. What should the Niners do with that 3rd pick? We'll get into it next right here on the Jake Asman Show on Sports Map Radio.
The middle.
Let's go!